They could hardly believe their eyes as they peeked through the little window at what had previously only been captured by specialized equipment. Quick flashes of light amidst inky blackness. These were not particles reflecting light from their own activity. These flashes were something else entirely. And as they relayed to the others a description of what they had seen, words failed them. The astronauts of Artemis II were in awe. Hi, welcome back to Blank Page Journal Sessions. I'm Tara, a journalist and therapeutic writing practitioner, and today, in honor of Earth Day, which, sorry for being late, there was a little bit of a hiccup on the schedule over here, but let's just say happy belated Earth Day. Nevertheless, I wanted to focus this session on the feeling of awe. Almost 253,000 miles from Earth, or 407,000 kilometers, the crew cruised around the moon and experienced a total eclipse for nearly an hour. It was then that the astronauts saw space debris slam into the moon's surface, creating a flash of light. These so-called impact flashes had been detected before, but this was the first time humans had set eyes on the phenomenon. When astronaut Reid Wiseman confirmed that indeed they had seen at least 4 of these flashes, the scientists at Mission Control literally jumped up and down. This was the scene described by Jacob Pinter, host of the NASA podcast called Curious Universe. Mission Control had been asking the astronauts to describe what they were seeing. And I want to read this next part directly from the podcast transcript. Astronauts are professionals, and the Artemis II crew was prepared for this moment. But I have to emphasize, they were seeing some truly mind-blowing stuff, especially during the eclipse. Over the radio, astronauts described space as a backdrop that almost looked deep blue, filled with many stars. They saw dots of light that they thought were planets. The moon was dark, but they saw a glow around its edges. Victor Glover, the pilot of Artemis II, said, "Humans probably have not evolved to see what we're seeing. It is truly hard to describe. It is amazing." And Reid Wiseman said, "No matter how long we look at this, our brains are not processing this image in front of us. It is absolutely spectacular, surreal. I know there's no adjectives. I'm going to need to invent some new ones to describe what we are looking at out this window." There are a lot of, my headphones are slipping. There are a lot of folks talking about the value of experiencing awe and wonder in our lives. So let's start with a basic definition. The Cambridge Dictionary says awe is a feeling of great respect, usually mixed with fear and surprise. We witness something that puts our lives in perspective with the vastness of some other experience, and it can shake us to our core. You could feel a moment of awe watching a video of a tornado scrape through a neighborhood, or when lightning from a distant thunderstorm sizzles in a mountain valley. You might feel awe when you look at a piece of art, or hear a specific piece of music, or when you take part in a ritual or a rally, or witness birth or death. The British Psychological Society said, "Awe exists in the upper reaches of pleasure and on the boundary of fear." It leads us to feel connected to something greater, and it spurs us to search for what feels most authentic in ourselves. So with this in mind, I invite you to take this time to think and write about a time when you felt awe. Where were you? What sensory experiences can you recall? How do you see yourself as an interconnected piece of this vast experience? If there are no words to describe the moment that comes to mind, like the astronauts described, what phrase or adjective might you invent to explain it? If no moments of awe come to mind, you might want to pause the video and take an awe walk. This was described in a bit of research that connected this type of walk, of noticing and being in awe, with improved well-being. And I'll describe the basics here, and I'll link the study in the description of the video. But an awe walk should last, that sounds funny, an awe walk. But the walk should last for about 15 minutes. It should be somewhere new if possible, or I'm guessing maybe you could just go a slightly different route. Maybe if you always walk in one direction, you could walk in the opposite direction. You can have your phone with you, but use it really only for taking photos. The researchers told the participants with the right outlook, awe can be found almost anywhere, but it is most likely to occur in places that involve two key features: physical vastness and novelty. You'll want to be intentional. Tap into your sense of wonder. So, for the next 10 minutes, let's re-experience a moment of awe on the page. Again, consider as many of your senses as possible. Describe the place. Really bring it to life as if you're back there again. What colors and textures and smells do you notice? Was there a breeze on your skin? What was the weather like? What was the time of day? How do you see yourself within this experience? Now, as you write, remember, honor your personal boundaries. You are in charge of your pen. Okay, let's go do some writing together. and begin to close our session for today. If you want to keep writing, you can use the little chapter markers to hop back to the beginning of the time segment and do another 10 minutes or even 20, whatever you like. If you're ready to close though, take a minute to reflect on how your writing made you feel. Also consider how the act of writing itself made you feel. Did you notice any sensations in your body? Were you surprised about an image or an emotion that bubbled to the surface? So go ahead and jot down any bits of reflection you have before you head back into your day. You might want to return to those at another time. That's all for me. I hope you enjoyed the session, and I hope you feel proud that you took time for yourself today. I know it's not always easy. If you like what you've experienced here on the channel, it would be a huge help if you could take one more second to hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and maybe even drop a comment below. These little interactions will really help us grow the space and create a community of folks who find value in the power of writing to explore and express the stories of our lives. I'd love to hear about your journaling and writing practices, or even any questions you have. So feel free to get in touch and help spread the word as well. So I'll see you in the next blank page journal session. Until then, follow your pen and see what you discover. Bye.